Welcome back. In your video today, we're going to be gaining insights for Lilith in Leo, or Lilith in the fifth house. We have a lot to cover, so go ahead and put your headphones in and put your phone down, and let's discuss this placement or transit. So now, what is Lilith and what is Lilith all about? In ancient mythology, Lilith was known to be Adam's first wife. It was not Eve. Adam was built from the dirt up, and so was Lilith. They both held within inside of them the same mental capacity, the same amount of energy. They were pretty much the same in nature. And because of this, Lilith did not want to be submissive. She didn't want to be overpowered or controlled or even dominated. She wanted to do her own damn thing. She didn't understand why she needed to follow his lead. She wanted to follow her own. And because of this, God casted her out of the garden, went on to make Eve to be more suitable for Adam, more submissive, for him, the better partner, the ideal partner, so that it can mesh very well. So once she got casted out of the garden, Lilith, it was said that she went on to go out, sleep with demons, being very much possessed by the devil. She wanted to be free. She wanted to be liberated. She wanted to do her own damn thing. Rules and restrictions were something that she was going to definitely rebel from. So Lilith is about being very much destructive, about your raw sexual nature, just wanting to do things out of the norm that you probably just would not do. So now the regular moon is pretty much your deep emotions and your deep feelings. It is your shadow self. But here in the black moon Lilith, it also shows you the darker side to your moon, your regular moon. So this is going to be very more destructive, has a lot to do with things that are going to be very much intense. It's going to be 10 times intensified because you're dealing with your black moon. So let's discuss what the fifth house is all about. So the fifth house, it has to do with creativity. It has to do with pleasure, casual affairs, one-night stands, not so much the committed relationships, but the more casual ones. Dating. Getting to know somebody on the early stages basis. Things like that. Fucking with somebody back and forth. On again, off again. Those kind of things could definitely take place in the fifth house. But the fifth house is not limited to just that. It also shows you your children. The way that they will be, the way that they will act, and also the way that you will be with your children, and the way that you will act with them. The fifth house can also give you pretty good description on how especially your first child will be characteristics and such, okay? So now the fifth house is about creativity. It's about living your life up, turn it up parties, drinking, just having a bunch of fun. Childlike energy, things of that nature. So we're going to jump into this right now. Black moon Lilith in the fifth house, these men and women will have abnormal luck. At least once in their life, these men and women can escape and guarantee death, okay? So things and obstacles can come their way. They can be at the point of damn near about to even be dead, die. Somebody trying to attack them. Somebody out to get them. Or just a situation where they could have just died. Wrong place, wrong time. These many women could have died and escaped death. Okay. And they can also have unexpected events. Legacy. Unknown sponsors. Alright? So they can have somebody that might want to leave them an inheritance from an unknown source, an unknown place. Just came from out of nowhere, actually. Because that's actually what it is. Somebody leaving them something, and they had no idea that it was going to happen. Nobody knew that their name was even on the goddamn list. This can happen with these men and women. Now, in a woman's chart, the black moon Lilith in the fifth house, this position is extremely powerful, seductive. Luxury, it has to also do with prostitution, being a prostitute, a porn star, an actress, businesswoman. This position can definitely be a loss of your femininity. So these women can have all of these traits that I have just mentioned to you. They can definitely go through several things in their life. might feel like they're even at a breaking point where they need to just sell their bodies, dance on strip poles. However the case may be, these men, sorry, these women can definitely be into those kind of things. But they're going to be very alluring, very mysterious. They're going to be very seductive. And it's going to be something about them, something in their eyes. Okay, you will notice that with the Lilith in the fifth house, you do have actresses, people that perform, also even singers, also with displacement. Okay, so displacement does have to do with like the line lights, the light being on you, almost as if you're not ashamed to stand up on that stage and show off what you got. Now these men and women do struggle with extreme, severe trust issues. It can be very hard for these men and women to trust people freely. They always feel like people are up to some different shit. People always trying to do some bullshit to them or just got hidden agendas, devious thought processes, and things like that. This is how these men and women actually view other people. They can have a very suspicious and paranoid mind. Okay, really just looking towards people's motives. What are you really about it? What are you really trying to say? Digging deep into what people are not fully saying that should have been fucking said. They can go beyond with these type of things. Another thing with displacement, when it comes down to them as far as early on in childhood, they could have been considered the black sheep of the family, the ones that wanted to rebel, the ones that wanted to flip shit upside down and do their own things, not doing the same things that everybody else is doing, not wanting to apply and comply with whatever the fuck is going on. And they can also decide in their minds that they might even want to adopt children. They might want to adopt children that are also similar to how they are. Okay, so when they are going through that process, they can probably decide. Keep them out and see something in them that reminds them so much about themselves that they would just take these children in and really be there for them. And because they know what it was like to be like the black sheep of the family, another thing with displacement that is very high and potent, they may also feel like that they don't want to be a parent, they don't want to have children, they can have a strong fear of being parents themselves, feeling like their parents did not look after them the way that they should have. So because of that, they can feel like they don't want to have any children of their own now if these men and women do decide that they are going to be those parents for these children, that they will have then, they will be the most overprotective kind of parents, not want the kids to get out of their sight, really want to control what's going on with them, want to protect them to the death, not wanting anybody to do any hurt or harm to them. Okay, these men and women did deal with some severe things in their life. Okay, they could have been abused, sexually molested. They could have been raped sometime in their life. They could have very well just got their innocence taken from them, even early on in life, and have this strong root of fear that this same damn thing might happen to their own children. Okay, so they might even feel like they won't be able to provide for their children. Can't provide, can't give them food, can't give them a house to live in, can't give them an apartment to live in. So it can go so many different ways with this placement if you have Lilith in the fifth house. This can be a deep-rooted fear for you. However, if you do have children, you will definitely be that protective parents for your child. Okay, these men and women can also be experts in poker, blackjack, and playing chess. These are their games that they can fucking master. So if you had this placement shit use a beast in that, what I think I see about this placement, these men and women can be accused for being lying and gossip, and even start to be fair. Okay, this is how people can actually look at them and proceed, then doesn't mean that. These are the things that these men and women are, but people will look at them if they can't take a fucking funny star and hold a checkbook, should be some things of that nature. What it is that these men and women is that, they are not fake. They are not phony. Okay, as far as lies go, shit. Everybody can do that damn shit. But these men and women are not the troublemakers. Okay, they're not about that shit. What they're about is going out and really doing whatever it is they need to do for themselves. They love to have a good time and they love to turn up. You have to remember that this is the fifth house here. So yes, you will see these men and women having casual affairs, because that's exactly what it is. They will have a lot of affairs. A lot of sexual things are going to go on with these men and women because they love to have sex. They love to be free, and they do not want to be restricted, especially if they're fucking with somebody or just met somebody that doesn't do certain things in the bedroom or outside the bedroom. They're not into that. They want to be free. They want to be able to do whatever the fuck they want to do to you. And you can do what you want to do to me. And we can just do it and have a great time. They're not about rules and restriction. No, they rebel against that. Okay. Also with displacement, they can be great artists and writers. Okay. They have a deep-rooted fear. Okay, that their children can also be very promiscuous. Okay, they can have a fear that this can happen with their children. And to be completely honest, that can definitely go on and take place, that their kids can become very promiscuous. They can be into sex very early at age. This is what goes on and takes place. They're going to be intrigued to wanting to know very early on in age about sex and wanting to dig and dab into that shit very early on in life. So be cautious with your children, okay? And be alert, that's all. Be on point. Talk to them about it. That's just it. These many women could have grew up very fast. They could have been denied the chance to have a real, innocent, free childhood. So their life could have been very rough, very tough. As I said earlier, a lot of things could have went on and took place. People could have been verbally abusing them, sexually abusing them, really dealing with them on a psychological level. They could have felt like their childhood was not childhood. Their childhood was, I need to prepare myself for adulthood. Yeah, this is what goes on. It takes place. Okay, also with displacement, Black Moon Lilith in the 5th house, they love to have sex and want to have sex the way that they want to have sex. But now what happens with displacement is two things, and it could go either way. They can really look at sex and really become confused. Their sexuality, or they can just become very promiscuous theirself and just overindulge in this area as far as sex go. So they can struggle with their sexuality. Also, if they're really into the same sex. Or it can just be as simple as, if it's a woman, she's taking on a more aggressive role when she's dealing in a relationship. If it's a man, he could be taking on more of a feminine role if it's a relationship. You see what I'm saying? So it can go either way. But if it doesn't go that way, it's going to go the way as far as being very promiscuous, very inviting, wanting to experience, wanting to, you probably will sleep around, quite a bit because you are searching for something because of things that went on and took place in your life early on in life. Okay. What they do need to do is set boundaries. Okay. Strong, solid boundaries so that people can't cross them any further than what they have already have done to them. Okay. Men and women with displacement, you will have some sort of wound around sex and pleasure. You will respond either total rejection of your sexuality or highly promiscuous. Either way, the goal is to take back your control and confront sexuality on your own terms. Okay, so that is what you have to do as far as sex goes. Like I said, that can be a struggle for you to feel ultimately free. Where the 5th house is about being free and turning up as far as in the bedroom. That can be a little struggle for you, especially early on, for you to get into your whole fucking groove. But then, once you get into your groove, you got it. You're good. You see what I'm saying? Doesn't mean that you won't think about things that went on and took place early on in your childhood. But you know how to freak a motherfucker. Okay, so now women with this aspect can have sugar daddies. Okay, and people with displacement can find a way to really find a way to be surrounded by luxury. They love beautiful things. They love beautiful people. They want to be secure. They want to have a good home. They want to have a good life. They want to be able to really enjoy those pleasures. Now, I just want to go back to the kids for 1 second. As far as the kids go, They also can have a love-hate relationship with their children. Okay, that might be heartbreaking and devastating to hear, but with displacement, you can have a love-hate relationship with your children. You can even sometimes think in your mind about doing bad shit to your kids because your kids can be very much off the hook. All right, not so much even towards you, but just off the hook in general. Okay, so displacement is real big as far as your actual children are going because it is in the fifth house. The fifth house has to do with your children, creativity, and the way that you create and things of that nature. However, you will love to get it in. You will love to have sex. Okay, men are going to be drawn to the women that have displacement. Women are going to be drawn to the men that have displacement. Displacement is a powerful placement to have if you do have displacement. All right, that's all I have. Please leave a comment if anything resonates with you and be sure to watch the next video to gain more insight on other transits and placements. I want to thank you for watching.